What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to KvltDeFi. This is the channel where we bring you the latest and greatest in innovations and tech in decentralized finance, quite specifically on Pulsechain, and even more specifically in Dev Jacob ecosystem on Pulsechain. Tonight is a MAFIA special. This is not going to be a weekly update where we go through all of the different things, but I do have a little bit of news that I will say. But yeah, hey, if you're here, please do me a favor, like and subscribe, obviously. If you're watching us on X, like and retweet this, obviously. If you're watching us on Twitch, thanks very much. You're welcome to be here. Honestly, guys, well, I don't know about you guys, right? But with me, when it comes to around Christmas, you know, especially now between Christmas and New Year, the days all meld into one. So, you know, some days, honestly, some days I don't actually even know what day of the week it is, just because I stopped thinking of days of the week and I started thinking of dates. You know, right? Today's the 24th, 25th, 26th, and then obviously the 30th, 31st. Right? We have had a mad a mad Christmas, thanks to Jacob and the team, right? We got the MAFIA map update. MAFIA map update is here. If you were one of the many people who joined us for the map update launch, which happened on Christmas night for me, right? It was on the 25th in the night, and we went for a good 4.5 hours launch night. I am happy to say things in my home and my household have gone kind of back to normal. Everyone that came here for Christmas and stuff like that have already left now, and today is actually the first day where it's just the family again. So yeah, it has been absolutely mental. It's been absolutely mental, and I know you guys have been doing absolutely mental too. One thing we're going to go into, we're going to have a look at map and everything, and I am frankly, I'm shocked. I'm shocked at the pace. I'm shocked at the pace, and I'm shocked at the rate that you guys are snapping up these tiles. And if I'm totally honest, I mean, I haven't actually spoke to Jacob about it, but I'm pretty sure that he's quite impressed too. I don't really think. I mean, obviously, we knew that you guys had all your plans, and you know you had all your keys, and everything was ready, and you were ready for launch. And then launch came, and these land tiles are going out of fashion, going absolutely out of fashion. If you don't have any land tiles yet, do yourselves a favor and go and get some, even if you get them, just to sit on them. Okay, now let me preface that by saying, obviously this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a guy here on the internet who likes to talk about cool things in decentralized finance and DeFi. And I have to say that our little corner of DeFi, which is Pulsechain, is where my heart lies. And even in that, our little corner of Pulsechain, which is Dev Jacob ecosystem, is really where my heart lies. I have to say, I'm constantly impressed with everything that the team are putting out. I'm constantly impressed with the innovations and the tech that's coming out. I'm constantly impressed by the community that we're building, and we really are building. I've spoken to so many new people over the last few days. People, it's quite funny actually. People that's kind of, I don't want to say, if you're listening, right, you know you are. I don't really want to say wouldn't give me the time of day before the, you know, when this was being set up, because obviously we are in early access, but map update went live, and I sent around a few messages to people, a few DMs, and I said, hey, just have a look at this. This is this not everything I said it was cracked up to be, you know? And all of a sudden, everyone wants to talk again. So thanks very much for all of that. I totally understand it from your point of view, but from my point of view, you can understand my eagerness and positivity to get this thing going, get this thing rocking and rolling, because now we're really rocking and rolling, right? I'll jump into the chat quickly before we start to jump into anything else. I have to say, GIF was the first one here. How you doing, sir? Thanks very much for being here. Get your tiles while they last. Now, that is, I kind of want to say that's kind of the mantra of this stream, if you want to look at it that way, right? Because these things are getting snapped up. Cities, entire cities are starting to get bought up, right? Literally, we're just a couple of days in, and I think there's 4, we'll go through in a sec, but I think there's 4 cities already which are gone, absolutely bought up. It's phenomenal. It shows that you guys really have been doing your homework on the back end. You really have been doing your homework on the back end. We got Red Squirrel in the house. How you doing, Red Squirrel? Welcome in again. Oi, oi. Yes, thanks very much for being here. Red Squirrel, I don't know if you've had a chance to have a look around on the map, but It's pretty cool stuff, pretty entertaining stuff. And I will be now. I have many people to stream with. I'm going to be streaming. Well, I mean, obviously tomorrow is New Year. No one is around tomorrow. Literally, no one is around tomorrow. Actually, except I don't actually have any plans. My busy part of the Christmas is over with now. So I don't really have any plans for tomorrow. So you never know. I might even do a stream at midnight just for the crack, and see if there's anyone out there who might want to join. Logic Blast is here. He says, "Yo, we got Big Kahuna in the house. How you doing? We got my man Moondog in the house. Love and light. Less than 50 left in Miami. Yes, that is excellent." Paul H says the map is awesome. A few teething issues, but now we're loving it. Hey, listen, this is DeFi and software is hard, right? Teething issues are to be expected with something like this. There's so many moving parts. I mean, if you think about MAFIA in itself, I mean, how many different smart contracts is there making this whole thing run? Many. I would say up to 20. You know what I mean? It's like there's a lot. Mundo says, let's sell it out by stream end. Oh, that would be great. That would be great. And we've got the scrapyard master himself. We've got Crypto Furio. Ciao, mobsters. How you doing? Furio, if anyone doesn't know, it has a bunch of car crushers and stuff like that. So he is in a prime position to make a lot of money, I think. I would like to let's just jump into have a look at everything that we've been talking about, right? We'll start by jumping over onto the Pulse for a bit because I see that we have more Pulse people here. I will change that to that view. Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, now, one of the early issues I know that you guys had, but it's been sorted now. When I was on stream, launch night with Moondog and with Kool-Aid, I was having an issue with. You can see here that the website is clearly connected to my wallet, but when I clicked over onto the map part wouldn't connect to my wallet. But that has been sorted out. But let's have a look at the map here, right? So we can see that we have the Yakuza have completely bought out New York, the Yakuza have bought out Napoli, and the Yakuza have bought out Chicago. So that's 3 of the cities. 3 out of the 4 cities that are actually sold out right now are gone to the Yakuza. Wow. And then we've got obviously Vegas with GIF and the Gears. I actually think, if I'm not mistaken, I think you were the first city to sell out. Is that right? The first or the second? I'm not sure if it was between you, Chicago, and you guys. But we can see Miami is going out of style. Like, hey, there was 50 when you wrote that message, and now there is 48. Keep snapping them up. Keep snapping them up with your 1,200 keys. And hey, and GIF, I know that you're here now. GIF, really fantastic work on making, giving a little promotion there to Moondog. I think he has his head in the right place, and I think he's going to do good things. GIF says, correct, we sold out in less than 10 hours. Yes, that was the first. My God, that is fantastic. And, really think about it, right? Because you sold out in Vegas, and that is 663 buildings. 660, look at that. 663 buildings sold out in 10 hours. Now, those boys have a strategy and have a plan. Wow, that is something else. That's phenomenal. Yeah, like I say, so then we've got the Gearheads again. So we've got Miami now, which I know is kind of Moondog is the city developer there. Also, GIF, you are the city developer in Las Vegas. That's pretty cool too. I wonder. No, I'll talk about that in a second because there's more B&B related actually. But yeah, so these things are going out of style. I've over the last few days, I've got into a routine now of doing like 3 or 4 posts over on X to try and get engagement, and they're all at very specific times. I went to Grok, and then I went to ChatGPT, and I was really trying to work out exactly what are the best times to post. I did a little experiment with hashtags because obviously we know the hashtags are sort of not used anymore. I asked Grok a bunch of questions about that, and Grok said, well, you can still use them, but if you overuse them, they can, what's overusing them? I mean, if I write, if I hashtag Pulsechain, hashtag Metaverse, hashtag, Hex or whatever, is that overusing them? I mean, there's like 3. So I think I've decided not to do it anymore because Nerd Girl, I don't know if you guys know Nerd Girl, a Hex community member, she has been around for a long time, and she commented on one of the posts today, and she just said it's better if you don't use the hashtag. So I think hashtags, if anyone out there now on your X posts, don't use hashtags anymore. Because the way the algorithm is set up now, it literally will just read it as is. Okay, so hashtags actually can hurt your visibility on the post. So there you go, bit of nugget of information for you guys. So yeah, so I've been putting out those posts and starting to get a lot of engagement, which leads me on to, I don't know if you guys know Pulse Wallet, right? So not KG's Instant Money Wallet, but there is another Pulsechain centered wallet called Pulse Wallet. I believe that the guys are Asian based, I think Vietnam or something like that, which again, massive crypto country, right? Big crypto community over there. And they have put Pulse Mafia and Pulse Pot as default dApps in their wallet. Okay, so you go into their wallet. I don't actually have, let me see if I have it here. Let's see if I can access it here. But I don't actually have it installed on this computer, but we should have a look. Okay, so basically anyone that goes into, if you download their decentralized wallet, right? Yeah, it's asking me, no, I don't have it here. It's on the other one, but it's okay. So basically what you do, if you have the wallet, you download it, and then when you're in there, they have a dApp section. You click on dApp section and it shows you like the most popular dApps, Pulsex, blah, 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 blah. And then there is a DeFi section, right? If you go into a DeFi section, you will see that PulsePot and Pulse Mafia have a permanent placement in there. Okay, so they already have over 10,000 downloads. Much more to come, obviously. Start of a bull market, obviously. Going to start getting a hell of a lot of things going, obviously. And we have a permanent placement. Guys, the sheer amount of eyes that can bring, right, to, you know, as their wallet gets downloaded, people naturally go into DeFi section and they're going to see, boom, 2 of our dApps straight away in there. They're actually going to start a marketing campaign, I think tomorrow, they said, that they're going to announce it already to their 10,000 downloads, right? So just going to announce it to everyone, basically, all over the socials, and let everybody know that we're on there. So if you are in the market for another wallet, just go and check them out, right? Just go and check them out. I'm not here to push or anything like that, right? To be honest, I have my hands full with wallets. There's so many now. I just made the move over to Rabby permanently. I did that because I was waiting, because I wanted Rabby to bring out the mobile app, because I do a lot of stuff from my phone as I'm out and about. And now we have it, right? Now we have it. So I took the opportunity to do that. It was great. Big Kuna said, Mobster Landlord wants his yields. I tell you what, these guys are going to start making a hell of a lot of money, real money. Algorithmic can suck. Well, it really sucks. Sometimes I don't understand it, but good to know though. For post, yes, exactly, right. Yeah, so look at that. That is actually fantastic. Okay, that is over on Pulse. Actually, let's just have a look at the map. Let's actually have a look. Let's pick a city. What are we doing? Right, let's look at Vegas. See all these things taken up. This map, I think, is a thing of beauty. As when we were on also with Kool-Aid, we were talking about some things that Kool-Aid, obviously from a game dev standpoint, things that he would actually like to see. Come on, I'll load you. Things that he would like to see, so, you know, the moving cars and all that kind of stuff. Are we in? We are in. Vegas, look at that. Right, what is that? Is that the HQ? That is a large hotel. Let's have a look. Zoom out. All right, now I'm going to, anyone that's watching this now that doesn't know, okay, so you can search down along the bottom here. You can search at rarity zones. Now, the elite is here. That is basically the strip, right? So all these places along the strip. So is that the HQ there at the end? No, that is the Yakuza. Oh, that's a relais. Oh, I mean, I guess on the strip. An apartment block. I don't know where your guys' HQs are, but they're all over the place. But look, everything is basically owned by GIF. GIF. Well done, GIF. Well done. You're all over the place. But yeah, so look, we can see this is an example, right, of all of these spots that are taken. Oh, Moondog, there you go, empty top. But you can see, so all of this stuff is taken out. So this entire city now. Zoom in here. Now, this is something that I love as well, right? I love the fact that you can actually really zoom in on this. And you can see our little straight. I think that was maybe the promo image that we had earlier on when we were looking at everything. If I go back to all, and just click here. So right, so we're going off the beaten path a little bit, and I think, what was I looking at the other day? Oh, there we go, the gun store. Right, so all you do, if you want to look at something, and if you actually want to look at the ID, now I know a lot of people on the marketplaces, when they actually want to try and sell something, instead of them, I actually see it quite a lot in chat as well. People are saying, oh, this is up for sale, that's up for sale. But if you really want to narrow it down and, let people know exactly what's, send them the ID, right? Post the ID, say, this is what I actually have. Something to reload here, Gift is saying. Okay, Control 5, yes, just done that, just waiting for it now, waiting for it to come back. Yeah, so if it's something that you want to sell, or, instead of literally just saying, I have an apartment block, or I have this or that or the other, the best thing to do is to actually post the ID of the thing that you want, right, or you're trying to get rid of. That way, people will actually really be able to see where it is on the map. This thing is doing my head in. I will also let you know, actually, that I have been through testing and stuff like that. I've been opening random places and random cities, and I do have a few different things, and they're not really for me. And they're really, I'm probably going to start giving them away, do giveaways, right? So if it's, and I just picked a bunch of random different cities. If it's a thing that I have something in a city that kind of belongs to you, then you are more than welcome to have it, basically. Obviously, any cities are sold out. I don't have anything in your place. Moondog says less than 40 places left in Miami. Oh my God, that is great. You guys are absolutely on fire with that, man. Okay, is it here yet? Okay, we'll do that for now. Just I literally just had to reload the whole thing, actually. I don't know what it is. It can't be the signal. Okay, we'll just do that for now. Yeah, so right, where was I? So right, I was saying about selling stuff. Now that you can sell stuff on the marketplace, it's probably best to try and do some negotiations and do some deals in the Telegram. That's what we're starting to see. I have toyed with the idea. I've toyed with the idea of jumping in because I'm in quite a few other Telegrams. Some of the other families. I'm in some of their Telegrams. Gift is saying, would I like someone to jump on? Yes. Who wants to jump on? Who wants to jump on? You guys are always welcome. I will copy that. Okay, I'm going to share the link here in this chat. All right, spare me just 1 second, boys. Okay, so there you go. So that is the link. Hey, you're welcome to pop on in. Hop on in. Okay, we'll do that. Yeah, so what was I saying over here? All right, well, we'll get to that in a second. All right, so yeah, whoever's there, come on in. Come on in. You're more than welcome. Moondog saying, "Have you got this GIF while I roll through Miami, or should I take a button clicky break?" I think it's frankly excellent, the work that you guys are all doing. Okay, there we go. That's starting to get rocking. Yeah. So while we're waiting for that, anyone else in the chat here saying anything? Let's have a look. See, no, I believe it was just GIF going through us. GIF and Moondog. Moondog is absolutely on fire. He's just steamrolling over all these tiles. 33 left in Miami, everyone. 33. $33 left. So that is basically 4 cities gone, right? Medellin, we can see, are down to 194 tiles. Well, I can see. You guys can't in a second. Bogota, right? I want to say about BNB. I was talking to quite a few of the different boys over there, actually. And I was talking to Richie. Richie's basically on a mission similar to Moondog. He's on a mission to snap up Bogota, right? I know, actually, a bit of news. I'm not sure if everyone knows. So Elon G. Muskie, who we had on stream with us for launch day, was a member of the Black Thistles, and he has his plans. You know, he was talking about how he was going to get a bunch of different territories, and he was going to play his own game through that way. Well, it turns out that he has changed families, right? So he's left the Black Thistles, and now he's with, I think, the OG Escobars, and he's done that for a bit of strategy. So I'm going to have another stream with him in a few days, and he's basically going to explain the whole situation, why, you know, his reason for doing that. Here we go. Who have we got here? Look at this. Hello.
Hey, how are we doing, Colt?
Hi. I am all right, man. I'm all right. Hey, thanks for being around. Thanks for being available. And thank you for everything you're doing. You're absolutely on fire, man.
Of course, my pleasure.
Yeah, you guys are killing it. Was this always part of the strategy moving forward, or has some of this come along, crept up and surprised you?
There's been a lot of surprises, I think. I mean, especially, you know, coming from my point of view as an engineer, just seeing how a lot of this stuff works on the background has gotten me really fired up. I mean, we had a family meeting yesterday, kind of going over some of the details and some of the new revelations we've made in what we've seen with the map update. That they'll attest that I was fired up. I kept wanting to talk and you know, talk about new subjects and new things that I found. And now it's been exciting. It's been really a very exciting week.
Yeah, I absolutely think so too. It's been nonstop. It's been a bit of a whirlwind, really, and especially within, you know, at the time has happened as well during the holidays. But I think we're starting to get to. I mean, be honest, right? I don't think, in your opinion, I don't think that anyone expected cities to sell out in a matter of hours and days.
Man, you know, I didn't know for sure, but as I started to see the tiles flying off the board on day one, especially as, you know, we should even talk about like the early hours of how we were getting tiles at some point, because that was pretty exciting. But once we were able to start, you know, collecting these tiles and I was watching them flying off the board, then I started to realize, yeah, you better get the tiles you are looking to acquire now, because they're not going to be around much longer.
Yeah. I think it's already getting to the stage where I think some people didn't realize it was going to go so fast, and now they're looking and they're starting to go into it, maybe a little bit of a panic mode to try and guess the areas that they want. I know that that's something that has happened over on BNB. I know people have been opening, you know, they've been opening a hell of a lot of keys, and for whatever reason, the RNG just isn't with the luck of the RNG just isn't with them, and they're not getting tiles around their headquarters, right? They're getting tiles all over the rest of the city, but not specifically not around their headquarters, and panic is starting to set in a little bit, I think.
Yes, that's a great point. And you know, it's not even that, you know, the luck of the draw. It's also that, you know, some people were having some technical issues, right?
Yeah.
And they're getting stuck in between this what I've been calling kind of the daisy chain of transactions of acquiring a land tile. they were getting stuck there. So I was spending a decent amount of time in DMs with my family members, helping them kind of troubleshoot and how to get through these kind of momentary lags until the front end was more responsive. So there was that too. So that was adding a whole lot of anxiety and that sort of a thing in while they're trying to obtain these tiles.
Yeah, it's been absolutely crazy. Kool-Aid is very excited about this. I know that he's probably got a couple of sheets of bullet points, things that he would maybe like to see, things that he would maybe like to see happen next, implement next along the way. And I know that Jacob has been very very responsive to the stuff that you guys have brought on board. I mean, you brought a hell of a lot of good ideas all the way along. And long may it continue, brother. I mean, I'm really, really happy. I'm really, really excited. Do you want to share your screen and you can walk us around Las Vegas?
Yeah, sounds great. Let me go ahead and figure this out.
Yeah, Moondog here in the comments has said, agreed. I originally planned to space out my acquisitions in a timely, scheduled manner, but that adapted when the tiles hit the board. And he's like, get them, we get them. Get them while they're there.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Cool, so we are here. Are you still top player? Yes. Moondog now?
Moondog. Yes, sir. My right-hand man. I am all for it. I am here for it. I hope he doubles my worth one day. That would be fantastic. All right, let's jump over to map, and we'll jump into Vegas. And look how smooth this is. Oh, so amazing.
I know, it's lovely, right?
It's so amazing. All right, what do we want to look? Okay, well, I'll give you the quick tour. So
yeah, give us a tour. This is your neck of the woods.
Let's do the tour. We'll save the strip for last. So obviously down here, we can jump into rarity zones and just jump over to common. So this is where you're going to see the blocks for all the common tiles. Now, when the connectors kind of become more prevalent, it'll make sense why each city is laid out the way it is, I believe. Now, a lot of the things I'm going to say is just going to be speculation, right? So just correct me if something sounds way out of whack. But when I first saw the map, I was very concerned on the street layout. I was like, why are the streets they look so random? But I've realized in the last couple of days that it is built this way on purpose. And one of the biggest parts of this is the fact that the common tiles will connect right into what some people may consider the most important tiles, which are going to be the strategic tiles, right? They tie right into all the strategic tiles, and this will dictate how large of a family you can hold in your headquarters before you start to lose access to the vault, right? Which we're already a lot of people talking about this. So all the yellow here is going to be the different headquarters. So this is the number of headquarters is basically dictating how many families can live in this city, right? Because randomly we were placed in, like, you got the grays over here. Let's see, where were we at? Right here. So here's our family HQ. So we want to make sure we have these connected tiles, and then you want to have all these common tiles too, because these all accumulate into your size of your HQ as well. So this is the quickest way to find where all the HQs are. Is just go to here, go to strategic, and you'll see them way easier because it's at the end of the yellow here. All right. And then the next zone we'll jump into is the upper zone. So upper echelon, that's going to be on the other side of the strip. So this is kind of like the suburbs, the nicer suburbs of Vegas is the way I see it. So that's where all these tiles will lay out. Now, we could talk about the different zones at some point here, but these are very important tiles as well. But I believe right now, one of the more, I would say tied with strategic is the elite tiles. And now here's where you'll see the strip. So here's the Vegas strip. You got the two, Vegas themed buildings. So roulette table and the slot machines on the end. And then all of these tiles here are going to be highly sought after, I think, especially if you're trying to obtain, a common or a steady income of in-game inflation. I think this is a great place to start, and it also will boost your defense abilities, which we could talk about on the zones at some point. But yeah, and then scattered about, you'll find all the other businesses, right? Bullet Factory, Detective Agency, jump down here, hospital. Over here, you got your booze warehouse, my personal favorite, and the gun store up here, and then yeah, the hospital. So yeah, those are all spread out there.
Nice. So are all the business objects in your city in Vegas, do they all belong to your family at the moment? No, I actually haven't looked to see.
They don't. They don't. So we're not too worried about it at the moment, but it would be nice to make a deal with the Sal's and get that slot machine, and of course with Capone, right? To figure out how we get the roulette table there. And then there may be one other business. It's not, yeah, right here, the Detective Agency as well. So there's a couple that we still don't quite own, but it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, how we end up acquiring them, because, you know, it's important to have connectors. And if you don't have connectors, the business is not going to be very effective. So we'll see how it plays out.
Good. I'm looking actually as you're saying that. I was actually looking here on the marketplace just to see if there was any business items up for sale. Clearly there aren't, because we know who's selling them there. But I do see that there are a bunch of tiles, land tiles, which are in Miami, which are up for sale by Escargo, and he's got quite a few. He's selling them, I mean, relatively for the same price of a key-ish. For some of the empty tiles. So maybe that's when you're trying to clean up their Moondog, if you're listening, that might be a good place to go. Maybe reach out to him and do some OTC deals, or just crush them and take them.
That's always an option, right?
That's it. I think that is an option that is getting nearer and nearer and realer every day. We can see already now, because we know there's when people first were buying land, the default city was set to Chicago, right? So a lot of people were just going in and buying up these land tiles, and they realize, oh, I've just bought a bunch of Chicago.
Yes, I saw that, and I was like, oh man, I'm not I'm feeling for Capone a little bit, for Archie, because yeah, that's rough. He was intentionally leading up to the map update, intentionally trying to coerce people, like, hey, do not be pulling tiles from our city, you're not going to make a profit off of us, that sort of a thing. Yeah. So when I saw it defaulting there, I was like, oh man, that's probably like the worst thing he wanted to see that morning. He did not want to see that.
I can imagine. Actually, I spoke to her yesterday, and we went through it a little bit. But generally, I think really everyone is kind of happy, right? The way things are going at the moment. Like we've been waiting for the map. Long anticipation. Obviously, a few teething problems, which happens with launches, right? This is DeFi, and this is pretty complicated protocol to get out there. But I think the general consensus are people are pretty happy. People are excited, right? The vaults, land tiles again eaten up, and the vault is growing.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm absolutely stoked about this. It takes a minute though. You have to start dissecting what's going on. And I think one thing that people need to understand, if this is the first time you're looking at the map, what you need to understand is that all the hard stuff that is happening on the back end, with the blockchain and with the servers, that is all looking fantastic. Like it's looking amazing, actually. If you don't like the way some of these trees look, if you don't like the way some of these buildings look, this is all upgradable. This can all be shined out at any given time. So if you're a mechanics guy like myself, we're the gearheads. This is the stuff we want to see. This is the stuff that gets us excited, especially me. To answer your question, things are looking great. I'm very excited, and I think a lot of the guys in our family is excited, and I know a lot of the guys in the other families are excited. So this is going in the right direction.
That's fantastic. I just see Moondog is in here, and he's saying there's less than 20 tiles left in Miami at the moment. I think he really is going to try and clear out Miami out on stream. That is fantastic, Moondog. Keep up the good work, man.
I'm not leaving this stream until those are sold out. Just FYI, you're gonna have to take me off.
That's great. That's great. Right. So if we move on to you then, right, because we actually haven't been on stream for a while. I know you've been extremely busy with Pulsar and your own stuff on the back end. Now, you're right. So you've got the Gears of War allegiance, right? Tell us a bit more about that, because Moondog has brought on quite a few new families recently. Are they going to be part of the Gears of War, or are they going to be standalone families completely? Tell us a bit about it.
So the new families that have come in, which I believe are these three, the Iron Bank, the Nice, and the Compass.
Yeah, and there's actually I think there's even two more again on top of that.
Okay.
On the second page. Yeah, so they brought a bunch over now.
Well, I'm going to leave, I'm going to be kind of a pain in the butt for you, but I'm going to leave that for Moondog to explain.
Oh, that's all right.
Because he's kind of leading the charge on all of that. But obviously anything that Moondog has association with is invited into the Gears of War allegiance. And yeah, we're looking to grow out that family list for sure. I would be surprised if we don't at least double our family size in the allegiance in the next few weeks or so. So that's the direction we're going, is building out the allegiance.
Mm-hmm. And that, so when it comes to, like you say, building out the allegiance, what is it specifically that you kind of think about? Do you think, okay, map coverage, or do you think about specific assets, or do you think about how it relates to, I don't know, maybe to potential future competition?
So yeah, I mean, you could attack that question from a few different angles. Let's go with the most polite one. We'll say that we want to acquire as much talent in this Mafia game as we can. So we want to acquire the talent. No matter what the talent may be, maybe it's communications, maybe it's streaming, maybe it's engineering, maybe it's just strategy, maybe it's people who want to bring in large amounts of capital to really speculate on this whole game. Whatever it may be, we want to grow out that within our allegiance, so that it just makes our stance or our protection that much better.
I like that. I actually think that's a pretty good way to look at it. The longevity of this game, or the potential longevity of this game, I mean, it's kind of endless, isn't it, really? I mean, we always talk about the fact that players can come and go, families can come and go, but I think the families that will rise to the top, or the families that are in the top position right now, as the game starts to really progress. And I mean, I'm talking now, I mean, obviously after the fact, after it's launched, but I think when everything is rocking and rolling, I think then, I think it's, I don't want to, I hate using this is a very cliche thing I'm going to say, but it's kind of almost like a money printer, it's like a crypto money printer, this game.
Yeah. So, we talked about this a little while back, actually. This is just DeFi. It just happens to be wrapped in a game.
Yeah.
And this is going to be the more, you get into all these other crypto protocols, and maybe you're chasing green candles, maybe you're chasing APRs, right? When you start to get into APRs and you start to work within these certain dApps, maybe you're providing liquidity, right? And you're trying to maximize your APR on there. Mafia is not that much different, is it? I mean, if you're collecting a passive income of in-game cash and you're able to remove it into actual crypto and take profits, there is an APR or an ROI, if you will, that's involved there. And so there's going to be some fantastic market dynamics. This is another thing that we could go down this path too, and I can talk for a long time on this, but the relationship between the Mafia token and the in-game cash, and the Hart's law of bonding between the two, and how they play off of each other, and the permabull tokenomics that Jacob built into it. And I mean, I could just keep going. I mean, it's very well built. It is very well built. It is very well thought out. I was literally just telling the wifey the other day, I was like, I don't think I could have come up with this stuff. I mean, I think I could have tried really hard for months and months and months and never come up with all the different levers that have been built into this protocol. And I'm just thoroughly impressed. And it's really taking up a majority of my time at this point because I'm just infatuated with it, right?
Excellent. Okay, so you know, I'm not a tech guy, I'm not an engineer, I'm not a builder or anything like that. So what is it then, this the backends and the contracts and stuff that Jacob has built, what is it that impresses a builder like you, right? Because you're a well-established builder, you've got your own protocols, and by all accounts, people that I've spoken to say, you know, you really know what you're talking about.
Oh, I
so
appreciate
what
that.
is it? What
I need to tip those guys. Whoever told you that?
I ask. I like to know who my friends are. You know.
So what impresses me the most? That's a tough one. Because there's things that are like super impressive that I feel are super innovative within the space, and then there's things that I've been hammering about and talking about and wanting to do for at least a year now that he's doing. That's probably what excites me. So to answer your question, what excites me the most, it's the little things. It's what we call in engineering, it's called a separation of concerns. And how you use separation of concerns when you're dealing with crypto has been fascinating to me, because there's these two things I'll point out. There's transactions that happen on chain that need to happen on chain, right, to make this a true crypto game. And then there's what's called signing signatures. So I've recently really got into signatures and the security of things because of said protocols that I've been working on in the past. And the way you derive a signature from essentially a private key. So when your wallet signs a signature within the dApp, what it's doing is it's deriving a signature hash, and then it's confirming it's coming from your private key. Sorry, I'm getting super nerdy. I apologize, but I feel
that's
like
all right, man. That's all right. Absolutely.
You asked for it.
This is exactly what I asked for. Yeah.
So that signature can just quickly verify that you are the user that is telling the protocol to do something. So I'll give you a quick little example. If you go in, oh, here, I'll just show you. I still got this up. All right. So we go to a map and we go to Vegas. And this will only take a second because it's so snappy. Come on, we're there. Go to my buildings. All right, here's one here. This house. I want to rotate this house, but I'm the owner of this house, so I should be the only one that gets to rotate this house, correct? Anybody coming in just rotating my buildings on me, right? So if I go here and I click rotate and I click confirm, what comes up that you guys aren't seeing is a signature request. So what this signature request is doing is it's saying, hey, here's the address of the owner. Can the wallet verify a signature that comes from the owner's private key to verify that this is the owner? And so you just click the wallet, all it's saying is it's asking you to confirm this. So I confirm it, and then I guess I'll go ahead and do it. So I'll confirm it, and then it rotates, right? So it's such a simple little thing, but see, that transaction does not exist on the blockchain. That was not a blockchain transaction. It did not cost any gas. So there's going to be these little things where, does it matter which way my buildings rotate? Do we need to secure this with a blockchain transaction, right, and spend gas on? No, of course not. We just want to verify that it's the correct user who wants to rotate the building, right? So that's a nerdy thing. I get it. It's super nerdy.
Oh, no,
that's me. What excites me, and this sort of thing, this sort of innovation excites me because you can scale so much better with this, with just the separation of concerns. Like I said before, does this need to belong on chain? Can this come from a server, or can we just use a signature to verify? Right?
Nice.
Sorry, everybody's sleeping now. Sorry, everybody.
I don't think they are. I think ultimately, the goal that pretty much everyone that is going to be listening to this kind of stuff, ultimately they all want to understand the ins and outs a hell of a lot more. You know, everyone thinks. Now, I'm saying everyone, but probably everyone. Everyone thinks when they get into crypto and they look at a little dApp or something and they say, "Oh yeah, I mean, I could probably do that. If I could probably learn coding and I could probably do that in a couple of months." But the more I'm in this world, and the more I'm speaking to people like you and people like Jacob and stuff like that, there are master builders out there, and I think that I always like to say our dev is better than their dev, right? because some of the stuff, that Jacob comes out with, some of the ideas he comes out with, and the things he builds, for me, and what I've seen, I've been in crypto for a while now, and I see it, and I think, wow, this stuff is actually really, it's really cool. And and I say cool, but I mean it's really fucking cool, the stuff that's going on, and I think we're all just happy to be part of it, right? And like you now as a builder, and you're saying stuff like that, you can pick all these little pieces that people like to glance over. They just look over it, and you can see the the intrinicities of it all. I think it's pretty cool. I see 15 tiles left in Miami. Here, Moondog, what are you doing?
Come on, Moondog. Come on now.
Oh, he just said here, the Yakuza have just popped an office building next to his hospital in Miami.
Oh, alrighty.
So I guess we've got some listen to the stream, and they're trying to push their way in.
I love it. This is a game. We should be having fun at this stuff. Everything's gonna work out fine. And you were right. You mentioned it earlier that there's maybe a little bit of tension. Maybe people are worried that they're not, accomplishing what they wanted to accomplish in the first, few days. But there's so much time. We've got time. You've got till the game actually launches to sort all this stuff out. So it's not a huge rush at all. I don't believe. Now, if you're not involved yet in this Mafia game, yeah, you need to start getting involved. If you're not sure that, hey, I've seen this metaverse stuff. This was a big thing 4 years ago. And people bought these, there was something called like sand. And then there was this whole chain that was supposed to be backed by gaming. That was all Flappy Bird with a connected wallet. That was just hype. And they were just a cash grab. This is different. This is completely different. This game exists on the blockchain. This game is being developed by a team of developers who have been making moves for years and innovating for years. And they're just great for Pulsechain all around. Everything they do is Pulsechain centric. However, they do deal with other blockchains like BNB. But what I'm saying is if you have not looked at this yet, you need to start looking into it. You need to take some time on the wiki. You need to listen to some of KvltDeFi's videos. You need to follow him on Twitter. You need to do all this stuff so that you can get caught up on what's going on, because we're welcoming in the 2025 here in a couple days, and this is our year. This is our year. This is our cycle, and this might be that project that really blows up.
I absolutely agree with you. I couldn't have said it better myself. I really think that everyone talks about 2025 as being the year, right? People have been talking about Metaverse last cycle. They've been waiting for it and waiting for it. Now gaming is coming around. We just happen to be in a position right now where we're going to be, the game is going to be launched fairly shortly, if we think about it that way. At the same time that everything is starting to absolutely rip in this market. I mean, we could not be sitting in a prettier position, I think, at this stage.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
This Mafia can bring in the three biggest types of people that we want to see in a community. It can bring in the developers. Hi, I'm here. It can bring in the gamers like Kool-Aid. Hi, he's here. And it brings in the investors like Moondog. We're all here. We represent the three types of people that you want in crypto and you want coming into this community. And it's going to have wide appeal. It's just going to come down to a matter of how many people can we get involved? How many eyeballs can we get in front of? Because as soon as people start pulling this apart, they're going to really enjoy it. And it's honestly, it's kind of addicting. If I'm being honest, this game is addicting, and it's not even fully rolled out yet. We're just getting started.
Yeah, I've actually got a Twitter post which I'm putting up. I mean, it'll be probably after the stream, actually, around in a couple of hours from now, and it's literally talking about the validators. How do you keep validators on Pulsechain happy? You don't do it with Hex, right?
Yep.
You know, two clicks in 15 years, right? You don't do it like that. So any maxis out there that are thinking, you know, how do we keep our validators happy? It's transactions. It's clickety click click. Just keep on going. Doing the stuff on the chain. And I know that when the project which kind of morphed into MAFIA originally, that was at one stage that was responsible for 10% of all the transactions that were happening on Pulsechain, and that was a much smaller project than this is. Like this is going to be an absolute beast for transactions.
Yeah, 100, absolutely. Yeah, and it's still even, you know, it's not even intentionally trying to do that. It is in a way.
Yeah.
Like I said, with the signature things, it's still respecting separation of concerns. So it's doing it in the most intelligent way possible. So it's not like, you know, I hate to say things, but like, you know, it's not like, you know, these LP webs, right? Where if a bunch of trading starts happening, like watch the gas on Pulsechain just spike to, I watched it go to 60 million the other day. 60 million Gwei. Are you kidding me? Do you know what that's not cheap? And it didn't stay there.
What was that, about $3?
Yeah.
Just for one transaction? Yeah.
So like, okay, in the webs are super cool. I'm not knocking webs. I'm just saying that it requires a whole lot of blockchain interaction for all these bots to be buying and selling in all these different LP webs. This is different. This is, each click is actually doing something within the game, that is implementing a strategy, that is making a move, that is eliminating a target, like you name it, right? And this is something that is going to be fantastic for validators. And yes, this is what you want on a layer one. This is the type of ecosystem you want to be built on a layer one, a type of DApp, a type of string of smart contracts, however you want to say it. But this is what you want built on Pulsechain. Absolutely.
Yeah. I again second that. I think there's, like you say, it wasn't built intentionally to do that, but it just so happens that it's as a byproduct of doing exactly what we want, which is onboarding, which is getting people over here, which is giving people something really fun to play, ways to earn, right? Like we were saying, it's everything you want in crypto, just wrapped up in a nice little game parcel. It's just absolutely perfect. And one thing that I really am noticing as well, the different levels that, how do I say it? The different levels of conversation that are going around between the community, talking about this game. Like right now, you're going, pretty more on the high level stuff. Obviously, when KvltDeFi comes around, he goes on the high level stuff when it comes to gaming, and that kind of thing. And then you have other people on the side who are literally going, "Oh my God, look, I can create an avatar, and look how cool my avatar looks." Right. So it literally is, every level of person in crypto has something to gain out of this game.
Yeah, I remember
or this protocol, should we say?
Sure, yeah. You remember when the profile images got their animations with the There's so many different stages within this protocol. Like I was even early in this because I wasn't as early as a lot of you guys, right? But I was early enough to see all the stages kind of come out one by one. And it's just, it's been a great journey, and as you said, it appeals to a lot of different people.
Yeah, it really does. It ticks a lot of boxes for these people. And I think because even we know, I mean, I look sometimes and I'll go through the wiki. Every time Jacob updates the wiki, I'll go through it and I'll have a read through. And sometimes I stand back and I think, I'll be honest with myself, and I think, is this getting a little bit complicated? Because I find myself having the same conversation tens of times every week, because usually I'll be speaking to people and I have to explain it to them like they've never heard of it before. So I'm going through all the absolute basics from the ground up, and then further down, if you want to call it the sales cycle, when I'm talking to people, I'll go into the more high the more high level stuff, and we start talking about the weekend, and obviously talking about things like like the different types of smart contracts and where the smart contracts came from. And, because I like to say, Jacob, he's taken this from this protocol and this from this protocol, that sort of thing, like especially with concerning the RNGs and things like that. So I find myself having all these different levels of conversation with all these different people all the time. And sometimes I think if I was to sit someone down from beginning to end and say, okay, this is Mafia, give me 20 minutes and I'll explain the whole thing ins and out. It's difficult. It can't really be done in one sitting just because there's so many different facets to the game.
Yes, but
you know what I mean?
If I may throw a suggestion.
Yes.
I think it's important to meet somebody where they're at. So that's why it's so great to watch your interviews. Like when you bring people onto your show and you talk Mafia, is because you're able to meet them where they're at. So before I explain this game to anybody, I find out where they're at. Like I said, like Moondog, right? We talked about, he's kind of got that investor mindset and he wants to be a developer and he's got a real estate background, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we meet him at. We say, all right, this game will allow you to build out in the metaverse and earn passive income while doing so. Let me show you how this is done, right? I'm not going to go in and start talking about all the blockchain stuff that I'm all excited about because he's not going to know what I'm saying and probably not even going to care, right? He's like, I don't really care about that. I want to build and make passive income, right? And then same thing with, like Kool-Aid. When I told him about this game and I was like, hey, you got to take a look at this. I was like, this is a game that it appears that it's going to be everything on chain. And this is going to be different than everything else. And we should start looking at this. And then, we've been talking game mechanics for years, him and I. So it was a really easy sell. He just had to look. He had to create the time, clear the hamsters in his mind, as he says, and then take a real good look at it. And he saw what I was looking at, right? So meeting people where they're at is the key, I think, to all of this. With anything that's complex, right? Anything that's complex, that's where you got to meet people. Mm-hmm. So that would be my suggestion. That's how I kind of look at it, and that's how I'll be bringing people and onboarding in people into this game.
Cool. No, I like it. I really like what's happened. I like the way the community is starting to run with this too. I think it's one of those things. It's almost like what has happened now to Pulsechain. The fact that yes, everyone likes to hear from RH, every now and again they want to know that he's still there. If you think about it that way, but with or without him, it's forging ahead, and it's very quickly becoming our chain, our people's chain.
Yes, it's the most decentralized network that I know of, and that's something that you can't. It's a very hard sell on people who want to do a whole lot of clickety-click buttons, right? Because we saw this a little bit with, and I believe Jacob even mentioned this when the talk between BNB and Pulsechain kind of came up. And he's like, yeah, but, BNB is faster and snappier because of two primary reasons. One, the network has more utilities built on top of it. And two, it is way more centralized, meaning there's 21 validators that is owned by CZ and his crew that dictate all the transactions. That's not a decentralized network, but you do obtain speed from it, right? And you do get security, but it's not decentralized. So Pulsechain is more decentralized than any other chain out there, and with that comes a little bit of growing pains of getting the utility built on this chain, and knowing that our rotating validators are as decentralized as it can really get. So that being said, you just have to keep that in mind, that decentralization is the reason why we're all in crypto. So, I mean, okay, us tech nerds are in crypto. We're in it for the decentralization, right? The protection of the chain. And that just, it can never be overstated, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I will definitely agree with that. Cool. Hey, we're down to seven TARs left, and Moondog has just put a poster, and he said, a stuck transaction. He's restarting everything.
Right on. What do you want to look at next? Wow. I'm excited. Let's keep going through this DApp for as much time as you got.
Yeah. Yeah. So walk me through your area then. So right, so you own pretty much all the buildings in Vegas, right? So there obviously the other families have places in your area too, but like you say, there's plenty of time to do negotiations, and I know you have a pretty good relationship with a lot of the other families that are out there anyway. If someone wanted to join the Gearheads, for example, how would they do that very quickly?
We do have a Telegram. So, obviously jump in the main Mafia chat. Make sure you're in there first, and then just DM. I would suggest DM and Moondog, honestly. Moondog has been doing a great job onboarding new players into the game, and I think he'd be a great person to reach out to. And we've got our own little Telegram where you can jump in and ask your questions, and we'll do our best to help you out.
Awesome. There you go, everyone. So if you are out there and you're looking at this and you like the look of Mafia and you want to join a family, right now we have the dawn of the Gearheads on board. So hey, reach out to Moondog, jump into the Telegrams, t.me/PLS Mafia, and you can get in touch with them all over there. Right. I know that right now that these maps don't rotate, right? I think that's something which is going to be coming shortly. There's spaces in every city for, like, let's say 8 families, right? How soon do you think it will be until people start encroaching on your territory?
Well, see, that's the thing. They're only going to be able to encroach with 5 characters. And then because you got to have the connectors in order to grow your family. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, because, if I wanted to start some new families, I could just start them here and transfer them the tiles they need to grow. So this might be a strategy that we may see, play out as we get closer to game launch.
So for the Gearheads then, for the business items and stuff that you own, where do you think is going to be your biggest source of revenue then, I guess? If we're talking, not specifically just like bullet factories and hospitals, but along any of the heist or the smuggling routes.
That's going to be tough. That's kind of like a to be determined, because a lot of this stuff, is, and this is my speculation, the raid spots and kind of what you're talking about there. I think it's going to be determined, especially, what the rewards are going to be, or how difficult it is to complete one of the raids. It's going to be determined by the health of the market, I believe. So if you don't mind, can we take a look at the market real quick?
Yeah, of course, man.
This is a good lead in. So if we're looking at the value of the in-game cash, you see this price here. The way this price is derived, because obviously in-game cash is not out there on PulseX, right? Being traded out there. So how do they come up with a price? Well, it's simply just the ratio over here of the liquidity. So if you took 1 divided by 56 and you got, a fractional number, and then you multiplied that by the current price, the market price of the Mafia token, now you've got a value of the in-game cash. So as the value of the in-game cash perhaps goes up, maybe we might see more inflation, which might make the certain raids and that stuff maybe easier to complete, or maybe bigger rewards, that sort of a thing. And then the vice versa could happen. If we see a lot of inflation of in-game cash and a lot of people trying to exit, then maybe it gets harder to obtain the cash. But the way that the mechanisms for inflation and deflation of the in-game cash is going to be driving a lot of factors. Not to mention the fact that it's 100% Hart's Law bonded with the Mafia token itself.
Yeah.
The Mafia token itself is looking pretty right now.
Yeah.
Open.
Yeah, it really is.
So
in terms of then, right, in-game cash, well, we can see here now that the protocol actually today, I think someone pointed out in the Telegram that the protocol is buying some pretty juicy positions to keep things going. Concerning the market cap, right, where do you see the market cap of the in-game currency going? By the time we get to game launch.
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it, but my expectation is that the value of in-game cash, because it's so tightly bonded with the MAFIA token itself, that as people both get onboarded into MAFIA, they're going to need the token to create their profiles and to start playing the game. And B, a lot of us players who have been playing already realize that, man, I believe I know of a very famous streamer who used to say this: you don't have enough MAFIA. You don't have enough MAFIA right now. And he was right. He was dead on.
I believe that. I do believe that. I believe the person that you're talking about. You don't have enough MAFIA at all. I don't think you know, and you don't have enough in-game cash.
Right.
You really don't. I mean, if honestly, I think, let's say 3 months ago, in-game cash is being sold on the marketplace. Sometimes I think, oh my God, I'm kind of kicking myself. I've bought loads and sold loads. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It should have just been accumulate. Get as much of that in-game cash as you can.
Yes. Well, yeah. And they play this dance, right? Not to get too artsy on you, but there's this dance between the MAFIA token and the in-game cash that is just it's so fantastic to watch. I mean, as you know, and correct me if I'm wrong. I can't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but I believe when you're buying keys now, that some of the pulse goes to buying MAFIA, which then buys the cheapest in-game cash that's up in liquidity, and then burns it.
Yeah.
So that sounds like an epic permeable tokenomic, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic for getting rid of the in-game cash. Yeah.
And here you go. Look at this buy types over here. Look at this protocol. You'll have to
and it's starting to take bigger positions too.
Yeah. I mean, it's just running 24/7. Here you go. Oh, there's some users. we had to go 6 pages deep to find some users buying. Right? Like, this is amazing. Like, connecting everything together like this is so great, because what we tend to do is we have this kind of mentality of scarcity, right? Where we think, oh, I need to have more MAFIA than in-game cash. And then you realize, well, if I want to upgrade my buildings so I can get my passive income, I need that to upgrade my buildings, and that's expensive, right? And every time I upgrade a building, oh yeah, that cash gets burnt too. That's deflationary. So then you realize, okay, so then I got to trade in some MAFIA for in-game cash, right? So then there's that process, and then you realize I need more MAFIA so that I could stake my MAFIA within my buildings so that I can receive said income, passive income, and B, on top of that, when the game's live, it's going to be very important to have these buildings staked so that you can build up your defensive power, especially in the elite zones, which gives you essentially, if I read it correctly, a 2x bonus on the defensive building, the number that it comes with standard, right? So this kind of dance that these two tokens are doing is fantastic. And you know, the only advice I can give myself, which this is just advice to myself, is to make sure you have both, and to always keep an eye on how much of each you have, and try to keep it as balanced as possible, because they will move together. I do not believe that they're gonna, you know, there's gonna be some disparity where we're gonna say, man, I wish I would have had more MAFIA than in-game cash, or vice versa. I don't think that's going to be the case. What's going to be the case is you run out of one or the other, and then you put yourself in a tough situation. That's the thing I can anticipate.
Yeah, and I think the fact that people are staking the MAFIA away as well, I think that's where you need, like you were saying, you need to make sure that you kind of have around enough, you have access to enough of it. Yes. And I think the fact that this is again one of the things that I really like about Jacob Projects, because he loves the value of staking away the tokens. Considering there's only 1 billion tokens, and you know, if we can get to a stage where we're staked away 65% or 70%, you know, just that in itself is going to skyrocket the price. It's the scarcity of this thing is amazing. Only 1 billion tokens. phenomenal.
I love a 1 billion token supply. I just love it. That is just the right number. It's the right number for so many different reasons. But yeah, you just don't have enough of these two assets. You just really don't. And how do I put this? All right, let's jump back over to map real quick. So because
Miami is sold out.
Oh yeah, let's go to Miami.
Miami is sold out. Well done, Moondog. Well done.
Well done, sir.
That is it. 5 cities are sold out, guys. 5 cities are sold out already.
And if you may have noticed, I used the little drop down in the bottom right hand corner to switch cities. And
yeah, I think that's pretty cool too.
Oh yeah. Okay, so here's Miami. Sold out.
Yeah.
This is kind of
phenomenal.
a cool map too. And again, like I was saying at the beginning of the screen, or the beginning of this stream, these road layouts and the tile layouts, it seems so random, but it's not. I promise you that these connectors are a big deal in this game. It's going to dictate a lot of things. Primarily, like how well can you defend your territory. That's like the number one thing. So Moondog has basically locked down a safe haven for him and potentially some new families that may come in to be able to run their business profitably in Miami without anybody encroaching. That's sweet. So, one of the things I was going to say was when you come over here and you see an apartment block, oh, good, this one's active. All right, Randy. Well done, Randy. Randy already got the inside scoop. So as you see on the yield that's counting up, just a little something, a little tidbit that I can hopefully add some value to the stream while you have me on here. So the yield that each of the buildings pay out, it goes in 24-hour increments. So even though on the DApp right here you see it counting up, it's kind of just for effect, in my opinion. Every 24 hours that you have it staked, you can then claim the yield, right? You can claim the yield from it. So you won't be claiming like 32 hours worth. You'd be claiming 24 hours worth, right? And then the next day you can claim another 24. And this will accumulate for 7 days, and then it's capped. So you just want to make sure that you are claiming your reward on time. Yeah. Otherwise it just gets capped out and you don't get any more. And hopefully Jacob's around. I think he's online right now. Hopefully he's watching. I would love a button that was like down here that said claim all, like claim all yield on the map, like just a one step button that would go through all your properties and claim them, as opposed to
actually that's pretty smart idea actually. Yeah,
that would be super handy. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, as this inflation counts up and you're getting paid this yield, it's only a matter of days. If you've built a tile up from an empty tile all the way up to, like say this apartment block, it costs you all this in-game cash to build up to that apartment block. But then once you're there, if you just want to sit on the apartment block, it's only a matter of time until your investment is paid in full. And then it's just pure profits going forward. So this is one of those translations of like, real estate into like metaverse real estate. Like you could make a passive income on real estate within MAFIA.
That's the thing. You can ROI quite quickly on this game, and especially at these prices, right? Especially at the prices now, like you say, the prices that the MAFIA token is, the prices that it costs to even start a family. Anyone out there that hasn't started a family, you can literally still go start a family, start snapping up these territories, and try and get some of these buildings because, you're talking about ROI in 200 days. That's literally based on the current prices of the token. Like I think we'll get to a stage where people will be able to ROI in like 50 days, and then after that, it's just protect it.
And picture this, though. This is the cool part. This is crypto. We're not dealing with, the US dollar, right? This is crypto, which means that if I've got my investment in, say today, on the in-game cash, and say it costs me to go up to this apartment building, I'll throw a random number up here. Maybe it's $300 worth of in-game cash to upgrade it up there. and then lock it in. If in-game cash doubles in value, then the time it takes to ROI is cut in half.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. So that is wild. What a great opportunity.
Yeah, really. Like it's early access, but people are still making money even right now. Like, you know, this in-game cash and selling on the marketplace and all of these different ways that you can earn right now, immediately right now. Even that by itself just goes to show the opportunity that is being presented to us here right now. As soon as this game goes live and as soon as it starts to garner the real attention that it really deserves, you know, it's, man, and like you say, a billion, you know, only a billion MAFIA tokens, and they're all going to be staked away.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's another thing. Like, there's so much we could do an 8-hour stream. Trust me, you and I, we could do an 8-hour stream if we had to. But let's just take a look at this again. So, staked MAFIA, 125,000 on this block, right? So that is putting your MAFIA to work that would normally just be sitting in your wallet. And you're able to withdraw this MAFIA whenever you want. So it's one of those things where as the game progresses, you can move your assets around and have it earn this passive income instead of just sitting in your wallet. Or, you know, maybe it's in some liquidity pool where you're worried about impermanent loss, or you're worried about other things, right? I mean, how cool is this? Like, that is so handy. And,
yeah,
you know, it's clearly well thought out.
yeah, it really is well thought out. I mean, this is something that Jacob, you know, he's been and they've been looking at it for a long time. You know, the mechanics of this, you know, come from the mechanics of stuff that he's brought to the table before. So I think the most difficult part is just this, because there's so many moving parts. From my point of view, like me sitting here, you know, looking at this as a player, as, you know, someone who reads up on it and, you know, keeps up to date with it as much as I can. There's so many moving parts in this that you know, each one feeds one, each one feeds one, each one feeds one, all the way along. That it's just it's mesmerizing with the amount of I don't want to say like, obviously we talk about the amount of ways that you can make money on this, but the fact that the mechanics are set up in such a way that everything feeds each other, and, you know, to create this like beautiful, sustainable, you know, loop, and you know, it doesn't necessarily need massive new influxes of money all the time to keep it going. It just have a bunch of players working together or working against each other, actually probably be more beneficial for the protocol long term, I guess. But yeah, it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me what's happening.
Yeah, it's a protocol first mentality, right? We talk about this a lot. Protocol first mentalities will keep the protocol running the longest and keep it the healthiest, right? It's preventing the leaky boat syndromes that I've also talked about a lot in the past. So yeah, I mean, if Jacob wants to take this to the what did he say that one time? He's like, I want it to be as popular or get as viral as like crypto kitties. I think he said crypto kitties, which is kind of kind of an old school term to use. Not a whole lot of people know about crypto kitties, but yeah, if you want to get it to that kind of mass adoption where he could just sit back and kind of just, you know, manage this game, which I think is his ultimate goal, is just to get this to a level where he could just kind of focus on the game going forward, and, you know, getting, you know, being able to, I can't remember exactly what terms he used, so I won't guess. But if you want to get to that level, like, that's what you have to do. You have to build with protocol first mentalities while still giving users a reason to come back every day.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Keep them coming
every minute.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Actually, speaking of Moondog, he said here that only took a third of the birthday keys that he purchased. So he said, if you want, should he do Medellin next?
Yes, sir.
There you go, Moondog. Fire away, good buddy.
That's fantastic.
These cities are going out of fashion, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, they're all going to get smashed out, and then you know, you're going to see these. You're going to see that eventually the only way to obtain property is to go to the exchange, right? Or the market.
Yeah.
Sorry, to go to the market, and you'll have to go to the market, and then there's going to be this whole real estate market essentially of, okay, you know, how do I value each of these properties? Do I just value it as okay, if it's a common tile, let's just take a common tile. Okay, the cost of one key is $20. Okay, the current cost to upgrade from a blank tile to this apartment building is $320. So then, do I just add the two? Am I selling this real estate for $340? Is that how people derive value? Because that could only possibly be the base value. It could exponentially go up based on where it's located, where the tile is located, and how valuable is that tile to a particular individual that happens to reside in that same city, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly it, right? We're going to see that. Not only that, we're going to see as members, I mean, as players die in the game, you know, those land tiles get reset again, and I think then, you know, that's when you have this mad rush, because, you know, it might not be the person necessarily who maybe took that player out in order to try and get some of those tiles. It could be that, you know, someone just happened to die, and, you know, people across the board notice it, and it might be part of another family strategy to say, okay, let's get that tile and let's literally just defend it and sit on it, so this other family can't use it. That's, you know, cutting off, like putting families in vault suspension is a very real thing, and it's very low down and backstabbing and skullduggery and all the rest of it, but it's an inevitability. I think it's going to start happening.
Hey, I'm watching Archie right now. What is this, Archie? Why are you buying up off the market my tiles? Why are you doing this, buddy? No, I love it. I love it. This is MAFIA game, man. This is what this is about. This is great.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I'm pretty sure he's going to use those as bargaining chips on a trade with me at some point. So kudos. Good for you. This is blockchain. This is a MAFIA game. You have no choice but to play within the rules. Like, you know, the blockchain is as transparent as it gets. So when you see moves and you make moves and you try to turn profits or you try to negotiate, I mean, this is all just part of the game. So if you ever find yourself a user and you're feeling frustrated because you feel like you're being manipulated or like whatever the case may be, just remember this is part of the game. This is what you signed up for. And you can always block all the noise out and just focus on being a developer. You can always do that.
Yeah, and again, that's the other thing. I think I keep talking about this, and I've said it. You know, I think, you know, maybe even on the first stream that we were ever on together. You know, the educational part of this, like teaching people what crypto is and how to use crypto responsibly. I know this is a kill and be killed game, but really, you can teach people a hell of a lot about crypto just by this game.
Oh man!
Even just by watching prices, like, you know, like looking at the market cap of various different items, teaching people what a market cap of an item is. You know, all these different things. I mean, it's a one-stop shop.
Absolutely. And you know, there was a question in Telegram that I answered this morning that I think would be super interesting to talk about. Man, I'm not going to be able to find it. Oh yeah, here we go. So somebody asked, at what point do bullets and health tokens and liquidity start? Also, how are bullets and health that you have in game inventory move to wallet inventory to be safe? So these are questions that, you know, maybe this individual is actually pretty good at crypto, right? But is just unsure how the mechanics are going to play out within this game. Well, the way I answered it was, you know, as we know, the bullets and the health will become actual crypto tokens, just like the MAFIA token, right? Maybe not just like it. There may be different mechanics to it than what the MAFIA token has. And I think we should assume that there might be different ones, or at least some of the same. But when that happens, that's when it allows you to then pull things over. I better not show my inventory. I changed my mind. But that's where you can pull things over, right? So what is safe and what is not safe? Well, let's talk about that for a second. What is safe is what exists that is owned by your private key. So what does that mean right now? Well, right now, the things that can be safe is your MAFIA tokens, obviously, if they're just in your wallet, and any NFTs that are outside of the game, which would be the OG NFT, right? That you can burn in order to get the player plus status. So that is safe. So eventually, when we see the bullets and the health come live, those will be tokens that will exist in your wallet and will be shown as your safe inventory. Even if your player's killed, nobody can take assets out of your wallet. That's a good crypto lesson. Now, on the other side of things, anything that exists in game, those things are going to be at risk. So the land tiles, the shop items, like you name it. Now, even OG NFTs, because they can be brought in and out of the game, those things can be at risk. And I think it's going to be the same scenario. It's just my guess again. I'm just speculating. It's my speculation that the bullets and the health that we have in the in-game NFTs right now will be able to be converted into actual crypto tokens, perhaps. And that's the difference from being safe and unsafe. Does it exist in your wallet or does it exist within the game? Now, obviously, Jacob's always going to have something up his sleeve to throw everything, throw a wrench in all of our speculations as things get closer to the actual launch. But that's a great example of teaching somebody how the blockchain kind of works within this game, like to your point.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you're absolutely right. I think we have a few more surprises before we get to launch at this stage.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, big time. And I think a lot of that is to do with the way that we've kind of adopted the game too. Because, like I say, you know, I really don't believe anyone expected cities to be selling out as fast as they are at this stage. You know, considering there's hundreds of them. You know, like there's hundreds of different tiles in every city, and now we're approaching. You know, well, Moondog's working on city number 6. Half of the cities are nearly gone. Half.
Yeah, and I believe, I mean, just look at it this way: if there's an average of, and I think the number is actually written down somewhere, but I'm just trying to convey a point. If you say there's an average of 600 tiles a city, and there's 10 cities, that's 6,000 tiles, right? So, but there's 11, so it's 6,000 plus tiles, and each tile through the RNG is $20, right? Which feeds the whole system. So as this sells out, it's just more bullish for this protocol. Like, this is a good thing. We want to see all these tiles sell out. And obviously I want as many as I can get my hands on, but I also want to see all the families buying up too. I want to see the Yakuza buying tiles. I want to see the Salazars buying tiles. I want to see all these guys buying tiles, because as a community, we're all going to drive this protocol forward. And the more exciting and even the more drama that we can get into the MAFIA, the better. I mean, Jacob loves stirring the pot, so to speak, from time to time.
Oh, so, big time, of course.
Yeah. So this is all good. This is all bullish for this entire protocol. And I with this map launch, I honestly feel like, technically speaking, it's not true, but the game has started. Like, we're playing the game right now.
Yeah. I think, and I think people thought they were playing the game when they were trying to get the business items off each other. You know, there was a lot of buying and selling the business items, trying to get business items in this area, doing some OTC deals. And I know that at the time then, some people thought, okay, well, the game is kind of here now. You know, once I have this in my territory, or once I own these business items, then I'm done, I'm secure. And then look at this map. Then this map comes out and it's like, oh, okay, it's not exactly as I thought. Now it's a lot more complicated, and you know, now there's a lot. I mean, really, owning a whole city and holding down a whole city is everybody kind of, I think maybe it's just the position that we're in. Right? You're a don of a family, right? So so you're naturally going to, if there's any bad actors out there, you're naturally going to have a target on your back, and it's really about bunkering down, getting as much, not just defense, a good team around you, and moving things forward, right? So it's almost like, I mean, you're technically running a business.
Absolutely, in the best aspect of that phrase, because running a business is not entirely joyful. As a someone who owns multiple businesses in real life, it's very stressful. This is way better than owning your own business. But yeah, the sentiment is well heard. I agree. And just quickly, if I may, I see the Wookiee has appeared, and I just, if you bring your eyes to the map here, Wookiee, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you, buddy. I see you got an elite tile. I'm looking at you. All right. Just putting that out.
No, perfect. Hey, GIF, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for jumping on. This has been great. Would you be okay to do this again as things start to develop along the line? I know it's been, you've had your hands full really the last couple of months. I know, but hopefully
the last 2 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true, I suppose. Let's take a quick word on that then. So, how is everything going over at Pulsar?
Everything, we're on break essentially, just like Jacob's team. We're on break for Pulsar, so that's why I'm kind of focusing on the MAFIA at the moment. But yeah, Pulsar is live. It's running great. It actually, we're seeing some nasty dips in the TitanX ecosystem right now, which is which happens in crypto, right? But surprisingly, the pair between Pulsar and TitanX is holding incredibly strong. Some might say better than other people. So things are looking good there. I'm just looking to do upgrades really right now. It's ready to be built on. I'm kind of hoping that, another community, because one of the main reasons why we developed Pulsar was to create build on TitanX over on the Pulsechain ecosystem, right? We're all of us developers on Pulsechain. That's what we want. We want to bring activity and users to Pulsechain. That's ultimately the goal, right? So that's what we did, is we created this locked liquidity over on Pulsechain that can never be removed, that's protocol owned with no ownership, to allow people to build on either TitanX or Pulsar on Pulsechain. And that's been set up. That's ready to go. There's locked liquidity over there, over 60 grand of locked liquidity that can never go anywhere. So builders can feel confident building on top of our tokens without worrying about some sort of liquidity issue down the road. So that's ready to go. I'm just building amplifiers right now. I'm just trying to build extra additives to make it even more potent. But it's pretty much done. I mean, there's not a whole lot left to be added to it currently.
Cool. Well done.
Thanks.
Oh, congratulations, man. I know you guys are busy. I mean, I'm in your TG chats as well. I'm not so active in there, but I'm peeking quite often just to see how you guys are doing, what everyone's up to. And yeah, I like it, man. I'm impressed, really.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I think like we always say, building the bear. You're building the bear because, like we know, 2025 is coming, and what you need to have all your ducks in a row, because this is the time to have it done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
How are you? Like, just generally speaking, are you one of those guys that likes to go in to some, like, go all in on particular cryptos that you have complete confidence in, or are you the type that likes to spread it around a little bit to get a piece of everything that could possibly pump?
No, I'd not like that. I except for things like Hedera Hashgraph, like HBAR or Chainlink and stuff like that. Those are I have a very long-term mindset about pretty much everything that I'm looking at, because I know Rome wasn't built in a day, and I do know that things like meme coins and stuff like that, so flash in the pan stuff, I don't really have an interest. If there's enough people that I trust, I guess, talking about it, then I'll say, maybe I'll throw a couple of bullets in there and see what the story is, just for the sake of it. But for me, very, very long-term mindset, Hex, all the RH tokens, obviously all the Jacob tokens, Pulsar. I never really jumped too much into the whole Titan X thing, just because it was a period when Titan X first came around. It was a period in I want to say in my crypto life where I was like, I don't want to mess around on Ethereum too much anymore. I need to try and focus really on Pulsechain, because that's where I see the future of everything that I want to be involved in and I want to see happen. I don't mess around on other blockchains too much. I don't have nothing on Solana, nothing like that. I am waiting for Modulus, the blockchain by the KvltDAO team.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm waiting for that. Right. Because that's supposed to be coming 3 years now, and we're still kind of waiting. So hopefully, if that comes around soon, is things like that. I really I don't really understand the ins and outs of the specific smart contracts, but I can read the hell of a white paper. You know what I mean? I do understand. I do understand. Yeah, I understand what's going on out there, and some things I have my eye on and just say, okay, well, just let this cook and just have a look and see where this is going. And to be honest, I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why. Well, that's actually one of the reasons why I asked about Pulsar, because I really do like the idea of bringing something like Titan X over to Pulsechain. I think it's I think it's an inevitability that community, because it's kind of a Pulsechain community really, who just happens to be doing stuff over on Ethereum.
A lot. Okay, that's actually interesting, and we don't need to go too far deep into this, but it's not entirely true. The interesting part is I've brought a lot of Ethereum users to Pulsechain via the Titan X ecosystem.
Okay.
That normally were
because
not.
A lot of the people that I see talking about, like Ali, and Ali Kane and stuff like that, I see all these boys talking about it, and they were all kind of from the Hex days.
Don't get me wrong. There is a huge community of Hexikins and Pulsachins on Titan X.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying that the number of Ethereum users that got onto Titan X that are now on Pulsar or Pulsechain, sorry, Freudian slip, is a lot higher than you might expect. It's really impressive. And I've even brought probably nearly a dozen developers of pure Ethereum developers onto Pulsechain who are now interested in looking to build over on Pulsechain now because of.
Oh, fantastic, man.
So I mean,
that's what we need more of. Keep building.
It's kind of all about, right? That's what it's all about for Pulsechain. We all want Pulsechain to win, so we're all just doing our parts.
Yeah, that's it. And another thing I like to say often, as RH Max says, the Pulsechain community want nothing more than to win.
Max, my guy. We had a great sushi night not that long ago, a few months back. I've met him a couple of times in real life. He's a great dude. He's a beast too. He's a big boy. You can't tell from that camera, but he is a big boy, man. Yeah.
I can see he always stands up right when he does his stuff. He's rarely sitting down. Yeah, so you never really get to see.
Blew my mind the first time I saw him. I was like, "Holy crap! He's like 6'4.5". He's like 6'4.5", maybe 220. Very lean. Like he's a big dude. He's a big dude. I was like, "Heck yeah, right on, dude."
Perfect. So GIF, thanks very much. Right, I will just recap for everyone. So this was kind of a more Pulse Mafia OR agent stream, right? Because we got GIF on here. It was fantastic. We can see 5 cities so far have been sold out, and Moondog is working on number 6. He's working on Medellin. If it's a thing you want to join Mafia, join the Telegram first, t.me/PLS Mafia. Reach out to Moondog if you're interested in speaking to someone about joining the Gearheads. If you want to join any of the families that are out there, a lot of them will actively recruit, and they might even find you if you start interacting with them, right? Do that. Get out there. Hit the pavement. If you are a Mafia team member, I know Wookie's very good at this too. Wookie's out there. Look, if you see anything Mafia related on X, retweet, please retweet. Just takes a couple of seconds, and you never know who's going to engage. I've been talking to people over the last few days since Map Update went live that I hadn't spoken to before Map Update went live, right? There are people literally in my DMs now asking me for stuff. Now, this is something we kind of always expected, and I'm very, very happy that we're getting to the stage. Now we physically have something that we can show people. It's not just show them the marketplace. It's not just show them how to create a character. Now it's come to life now. The metaverse is here. The metaverse has come to life, and it's up to all of us to grow this thing together. Okay, so like, subscribe, notification bell, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for this little video. Gif, really, thanks very much, brother, and I'll catch you in the green room in just 2 seconds.
Sounds good.
Giffordware, it's an honor.
Got an anonymous tip, boss.
This is it. We stage the heist tonight.
And keep an eye on Kool-Aid. He's been known to water the plants.
Let's keep the plants out of this and focus on the job.
All right, Johnny, I'm sorry.
Keep that change, you filthy animal.